Hey Eurovision fans, this is Tom coming to you from Shanghai and back for another Eurovision reaction video. Today we're going to be reviewing Czechia, Benny Cristo singing Kemama. It's the revamped version. We're going to listen, react and see how this can do in Rotterdam. So let's kiki. As always, use the timestamps down below if you want to skip to a certain part. If you're a Eurovision super fan, make sure you subscribe. First of all, to clarify, I'm going to be reacting to the revamp today. I've already reacted to the music video when the songs were released. The video's up here. First, Czechia in the competition. So Czechia joined in 2007. They were there for 3 years. They got 10 points in 3 years. So basically they sucked when they joined. They left for 5 years and then they came back. Since they've come back, they have been one of my favorites. I think they're super underrated. I love their return to the competition. Of those 5 entries since they've returned, like pretty much all of them are iconic for me, apart from Martina Barda. I felt that was a flop here. But like 2015 is one of the most underrated songs ever. I think that's one of the best soft rock songs we've ever gotten in Eurovision. There's not very many, but still it's fantastic. You know, Miklas Joseph was amazing. Lake Malawi, just really iconic, kind of alternative point of view, which I really love. They've never sent something to it. Like, I suppose Gabriella would be considered generic. That was actually my number 3 that year. So they tend to be quite high up in my rankings. I really love their entries. You know, since the return, they've qualified 3 out of 5 times, which is really good. Last year, they were absolutely and utterly robbed. Look, I didn't like Friend of a Friend as a song. I still haven't downloaded it. But that song came second in its semi-final, only behind Australia. That should not have been drawn third in the final. I was so pissed off about that. San Marino were 8th in their semi and they got drawn 7th. Cyprus were 9th in their semi and they got drawn 11th. So 2 songs who were way down in the semi got much better draws. I think that's totally inexcusable. I've never heard any reasoning or logic for it. That song is definitely upbeat enough that it should have come later. On top of the fact that you want to encourage countries who've taken hiatuses in the past, you don't want to deter them from coming back or give them any ammunition to want to quit the competition. Now, the Czech national final. Regarding songs, I think it's pretty undeniable the Czech national final was probably the best national final this year. They had 7 really fantastic, different, varied songs. It was so badly organized. Let's work backwards. Let's say you've got a big artist going to a national final. How would you skew the competition to favor them? Well, first thing you do is you'd only let people vote for one country so that all that person's massive fan base can vote for them. Second of all, you'd let them vote before the competition even happens so that people who have absolutely no interest in watching the final and no interest in Eurovision can just tap in and just download an app for 5 seconds and vote for them. So you're not even accessing real Eurovision fans. It's just people who've got like a minute to spare and are a super fan of one artist. And the third thing you do is you wouldn't make these super fans have to watch the other songs. So don't make them watch the national final. Usually if you've got a big artist, they'll be in the national final. People watching will watch all the songs and they might say, actually, I quite like that other song. I'll vote for that one as well. So basically they did the 3 recipes that you would do if you wanted to completely and utterly skew a national final. And if they're going to do that, so just do it behind closed doors. If you want to pick one person, just internally select them. Why go through all the rigmarole of like pretending like it's this democratic process when it quite clearly isn't? As soon as you win the televote, all you need to do is come second in the jury and you're through. And in a 7-song final, that's not that difficult to do. If you've won the televote, which is usually the deciding factor, all you need to do then in the jury is just come close to your competitor. You don't even need to beat them. You just need to be like 1 or 2 places below them and you've won. Now, I don't blame Benny for any of this. I don't think that it was his decision or anything. I think it was the greater powers to be above him. The whole thing was just a little bit facepalm. So I hope that they clean those things up next year, because what we're seeing is that there is a ton of talent in Czechia. That is my rant, but I'm honestly, I've been bottling that up for like a month. So this is the revamped version of it. So I'm gonna be honest, I have not heard this before, but I've heard the backlash. I know that a lot of people are not happy, so I'll wait and see, but I'm expecting this to be not as good as the original. Okay, Benny Cristo, what under my secret bang? Okay, that's the infamous guitar that everyone hates. Do you know what? I don't hate it, I think, as much as everyone else does. It's very prevalent. Like, I get why people piss off. Like, if you don't like it, like, it's very in your ear. I don't know, I still think like the fundamental electronic beat is here. It just comes a little bit later. I think it just gives a little bit more layer. I don't know, I still feel like the core song is here. I don't mind this as, I don't know. Maybe it's my expectations are different because I've been, like, the reaction line has been really bad. I quite like the guitar thing. I think it does gives it more of a different edge as well. You know, I can see why Eurovision fans might not like this because I think it makes it a little bit more like mainstream. The other thing as well, the song, the original was way too one note, so they did have to do something. I was happy he was going to revamp. So, I don't hate the guitar, I just think, like now it's too prevalent. Now I want the guitar gone. I think maybe it should have been in the first third, and then it like should be gone by now as the song progresses into the electronic beat in the second third. Yeah, the song does sound a little bit lost now, like it's kind of wandering around, it doesn't really know what it's doing. Okay, this sounds like the usual bit. Okay, let's see how it ends. Yeah, it does sound a little bit like he's recording the song and someone's playing guitar in the background, like, and the audio's coming in from someone else, as in like it's not part of the song. Okay, it's really hard for me to judge because I feel like I probably would have the same reaction that everyone else has had if I was watching for the first time. I would have been like very disappointed. But because I was expecting that, it's probably the opposite. I'm probably less disappointed than I currently would expect. I think the main thing for me is it just doesn't make the song much better. I don't think it makes it much worse. I think it makes it different. Whether that's better or not, I don't really know. I think, you know, we can be quite niche-y in the Eurovision community. We do tend to like certain things a lot more than others. And I think their best thing to do is just go to some focus groups around Europe and just ask like the general public what they think about which one do they prefer. I think probably a hybrid of the two would be the best. I like the concept of the guitar. It's definitely too prevalent. Like it's non-stop and you're kind of like, it almost gets a little bit irritating. It's like someone's trying to distract you from the song. Like there's the big shot guitarist who's like, listen to me play a solo while the song is going. And you're like, well, actually I'm trying to listen to the song. It does have its place, I think, in the first third, and I like that they've slowed the first third down, and then the electronic beat becomes more prevalent. In the original, it was like electronic beat, electronic beat, electronic beat. It was too samey. Now it's more like the second third has the electronic beat. I think what they should do is guitar, electronic beat, and the first third is a bit more of a crescendo, maybe not with the guitar, but like up the electronic elements, so maybe kind of like a mix of the two. I don't know if they can do anything like that now because the time has passed for them to submit their songs. Having said that, if they use elements from their two previous entries, I think that would probably be a workaround because they're not adding in anything new really. They're just kind of like jiggling the song around. He was on social media saying that, you know, he had heard the reaction was not great. You know, he was considering what to do. I agree with a lot of people online that, you know, this does feel like it's lost a lot of power. It goes from being kind of like a slightly umphy, cool, dancey song to a lot more chill. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely not the same feel, tempo, mood that the previous song had. Some people might say that they've sucked the energy and fun out. You could also say they've gone for a chiller mood. It just depends on whether you like the result or not. I support him, like all that stuff I said about Czech final. I don't blame Benny for that as well. I'm fully behind him. I love Czechia in the competition. I will get behind Benny 100%. I like the fact that he revamped. I was hoping for a little bit more African influence because I understood that he was going to Kenya to remix this. So I thought that there was going to be a little bit more of an African element in it, a little bit like we've got from Israel. So a little bit disappointed from that sense. I wanted some kind of like a Euro-Afro fusion that was very kind of maybe like a little bit new and fresh mixed with some electronic elements, and that's not this. So look, yeah, I'm disappointed. I still want this to go through, and I think we need to be careful that we don't get into our little bubble where just because this isn't what we wanted from the revamp that we're like, oh, this isn't going to qualify. I still think there's quite a lot of people in the mainstream who will like this. And there's nothing else that sounds like it in the competition this year. Like really, if you go through the second semi, there's so much blandness. It's a bit of a blanderama. You could say this is bland, but there's a different genre of bland. You know, you've got like 7 X Factor bland songs, and then you've got this. It's a bit bland, but it's definitely unique in its styling and attitude. I think people will just remember because of that. You just second semi-final is all about standing out, really. Unfortunately, it's going to come to like who can shout the loudest for quite a few of the semi-final spots, and anyone who's a little bit too meek, shy and retiring is probably not going to make the cut. Let's see, how's this done the odds? Yeah, its odds have pretty much stayed the same. Like, I'm not going to download this new version because I don't really feel like it adds anything particularly special over the original. I feel like it is a different enough revamp, but I don't like the changes enough to justify messing with my play count. What did you think about Benny Cristo's Kemama revamp? Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in another Eurovision reaction video very soon. Goodbye.